Hello. Hello, my name is Snow Queen and I'm here to see all of you and tell some stories. I'm so pleased to be here. I'm coming all the way from my kingdom to share some stories with everybody at home. I know this is a troubling time for everyone and it is wonderful that we're home and we're telling stories together. Everybody in my kingdom is doing the same thing. We love to spend time together. And I'm just going to wait a couple minutes to make sure that everybody can gather here all together. Oh, hello, Arthur in California. I'm going to just wait 1 minute or so until we can get some people to join us in this lovely, lovely moment. So if you're here and if you're watching, say hi in the comments. That would be wonderful. And well, then we can tell a wonderful story about magical forests and fairy tales, and we can all share in that joy together. So, it is so wonderful to be here. In Arendelle right now, we're having lots of crocus flowers blooming, so that is where my sister is. She's outside with all of our friends picking flowers for our kingdom. Oh, hello, Princess Morgan. So wonderful to have everybody here. And I am drinking my mother's wonderful hot chocolate out of a cup that has one of my favorite lines from it. It's important to have hot chocolate every morning. Oh, hi, Angela and Alyssa. Wonderful to have you here. Thank you for joining us. We're going to get started in just a minute. We're going to tell a wonderful fairy tale that my father and mother used to tell me all the time about an enchanted forest. You may have heard some of the story, but not all of it quite yet. And I'm so excited to share it all with you. Hello, Monica. Wonderful to see you again. Well, we are going to tell a story about fairy tales and elven princesses and everything in the fashion that my mother and father would tell me and my sister. And so, excuse me, this story is called The Fairies Story Hour. It starts with, "Come, come to the fairies' meadow." It is a place my father would always tell me about. Oh, hello, Jessica. Thank you for joining us. Oh, hello, Michelle. It is wonderful to have you all here. Let's get started telling our story. So, fairies, fairies everywhere. Hear them come, see them come in the pale moonlight to this lovely meadow. They rush through the air, they throng from the wood, they spring up from the grounds, they peep from the flowers and leaves. They are all hastening to the fairies' story hour. Sounds like someone I know. The midsummer moon is shining, shining, while the midsummer breeze is swaying, swaying in the harebells, lilies, and grasses. Laughter, whisper. See, through the air comes gliding a whole host of radiant little fairies. They poise lightly on their silvery wings and float down to the harebells and lilies. They flicker over the meadow like gay butterflies. Laughter, whisper. Hum, whirl. What is that noise in the treetops? From among the dark leaves fly hundreds and hundreds of broad-backed beetles, bumping and thumping each other. They are followed by a silent cloud of bats, and wheel and whirl and flap their leathery wings, and through the back of every beetle and every bat clings a tiny roughish elf peeping down at the meadow below. You see, everybody is gathering for their story just as we're gathering for this. Rap, tack, rap, tap, rack. From behind each tree trunk steps a little leprechaun as big as your thumb. They are the fairy shoemakers. Their long beards and red caps wag in the moonlight and the little men smile and chuckle to themselves. For well they know where the pots of fairy gold are hidden. Near them, peer from behind stones and bushes, are the Trummadogs, rolling their mischievous eyes. My father would always come up with funny names for everybody. Skip, skip, knock, knock. What have we here? From out of each pours a swarm of little spriggans and pixies gaily dressed. The knockers with their tiny hammers in their tiny hands. They have left the meadows and moons, and they have left the mines of tin and copper, and the diamond caves to come the fairy story hour. How they hustle, how they bustle, out of the earth, gallop a trot, gallop a trot. What comes from the woods? A long line of prancing goats and house cats. Out of the back of each is a house elf, to be sure. The brownies, the bogarts, the tomts, the pickies, they're all there. They have left their snug corners in human homes. They have left cellars, barns, and threshing floors. They have left bowls of clubbered cream on warm hearthstone to come to the fairy story hour. And who is that the light their way with a willow the whippin' lantern? 'Tis Robin Goodfellow, freakish elf, ho, ho, ho. All the creatures of the world are gathering for this fairy story hour. Sing-cling, sing-cling. What are these that come sailing through the air? Mother of pearl, boats and coral mats and sails and sea lace. Each little boat is crowded with sea queens and water fairies. Their green hair is long and flowing, and their robes are the rainbow spray. And near them, astride frisky seahorses and their kelpies, blowing loudly on their conch shell trumpets, which I would imagine would sound like whoo-hoo on a conch shell. And each kelpie is armed with a shield of pearl and a swordfish weapon, and have all left the foaming green waves of the pink coral palaces to come to the fairy story hour. Now listen, listen. The harebells and lilies are ringing sweet music, while from meadow flowers and acorn cups and forest nuts tumble lazy, sleepy, sleepy elves, rubbing their eyes and hastily joining each other for the fairy story hour. The harebells and lilies ring louder and louder, and from the cool wood keep King Oberon and Queen Mab, and with all their fairy train, and glitter and moonshine, with long string of jewels, the royal train advances into the middle of the meadow, and king and queen seat themselves on the throne of moss. At their left is capering Puck, mowing and mouthing on the right. Ariel, the sweetest singer, all the presents bow, and before themselves a throne. See, Queen Mab raises her hand, and each little elfin fairy scurries and hurries to make himself comfortable. Some sway on the blades of grass, others climb the flower stalks and curl up inside their fragrant blossoms. Don't you love the smell of flowers? While still others swing to the rocks in the trees, or nestle among the ferns and under the toadstone umbrellas. See every elf and every tiny fairy and every little imp, and all the world is over. In here indeed all the members of the entire fairy family are present except for the human-sized ones. They are too busy to come, the elfin princesses, and are searching cottages and palaces for mortal brides to carry off to fairyland. The elfin nurses are leaving changelings in baby cradles, while the fairy godmothers are far away bestowing wonderful gifts to good children and punishing the bad ones. Look, look, Queen Mab waves her hand, and Fairy Story Hour is beginning. All is hushed, and listen to the Fairy Story Hour. Thank you. That's a story that my father and mother would always tell my sister and I as we cozied up in bed or on a wonderful afternoon such as this, and he would read us the Fairy Story Hour. And thank you for sharing that wonderful story with me. Now, I would love to talk a little bit about all of these fairies and elves and woodland creatures, all of these wonderful beings that came together to tell this story. Now, it isn't always that easy to come together as a big group, and all of these wonderful creatures came together with bravery and courage to share a story, to share something that brings everybody together, which is so wonderful to me and so inspiring. And we must all always remember to be brave and courageous in sharing what we love and sharing what makes us happy and sharing lots of joy with one another, always giving and always trying to be your best self, which is something in my story, my personal story that a lot of you might know, is that we always try to live every day with courage and kindness, lots of bravery, bringing everybody together and doing what's right. And when the world looks a little scary or a little frozen, we must always remember to spread love and courage and kindness. So it's wonderful to see that everybody's here. If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask or anything they'd like to say, please go ahead and type it in the comments, and then I'll be sure to answer. And we have lots of stories coming up. Of course, in the future, we'll be able to tell more stories, so please tune in again when we can tell more stories together. And we will let you know when the next story will be, as long as you subscribe and like the Amazing Fairytale Parties page and Instagram, because we will give you day-to-day alerts on when our next story time will be. We understand that this is challenging times for a lot of families, and to have a little bit of togetherness in an outlet such as this, we would love to be able to provide and bring everybody together. We can tell more stories of fairy tales and magical forests, which is all we try to do. Oh, hi, Sophia. It is wonderful to see you here. Sophia, did you enjoy the story? Is there anything that you'd like to ask? Wants to say hi. Oh, hello, Lindsay. Oh, thank you. You're my favorite. It is so fun to see everybody here on this outlet and be able to enjoy with everybody. Now, let me see if anybody has any questions or anything they would like to ask. Oh, hi, Harvey. Thank you. I'm so happy that you all loved the story. I have so many more in our kingdom. We have a great big library where we can have everybody join together and read lots of stories. And especially in days like today, where we're going to read lots of stories together. Oh, hi, Victoria. Have a sip of my hot chocolate. For those of you who didn't see, this is my favorite cup because my sister made it for me. And it says this, "For the First Time in Forever," which is one of her favorite songs. Oh, hi, Juliana from Oregon. Thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you, Monica. I hope this story inspired everybody to encourage everyone to love always. I will, of course, say hi to my sister, Lindsay. Of course, I will see her in just a little bit. She's outside picking flowers because they are blooming like crazy around our kingdom. So she's gathering them all up with our little snowman friend and putting them all over the castle, which is one of her favorite things to do. Hi, Sophia. Aw, thank you, darling. I hope that you like the story, and I hope you can take away some valuable lessons from it too about togetherness and standing by each other and coming together in tough times whenever anything looks a little challenging in maybe your own life, but also the world around us. And we must always remember too to, well, look after our woodland creatures and to look after fairies and to maybe think if you don't think that they are really there, or if you're turning over a log in the woods and you might see some beetles, maybe look out for them. They're living their life the best of their ability and they're very happy under that log, so you might want to leave them there. I always try to look out for woodland creatures and bugs and beetles and fairies. My father and mother would always tell me that they're out there. And even if you don't believe, you must be careful and you must look out for them. Oh, I have lots of lovely songs I would love to sing. However, I'm not going to right now. I'm very, very sorry. But I'm loving that everybody is here. Thank you so much for commenting. I would love to share any kinds of stories with all of you, answer any questions that you have, or give any encouraging messages to a time like this. It's wonderful that we can all meet in such a place and tell stories together and share in experiences. And I hope that we can do more of this. So please, if you haven't already, like or subscribe to Amazing Fairy Tale Parties Facebook page and Instagram, and you'll get updates on when the next story will be. It'll be a different story every time we do it. So tune in and please, please be here to watch and to leave in the comments. I would love to answer any questions that you have or say hello to anybody there. Well, again, this is the Snow Queen, and I am going to sign off. And thank you everybody for joining us. And please, please, as I said, tune into our next story time. We will try and do this as often as we can. And so please, that means that you need to like our posts, you need to subscribe, comment, let us know what you want to hear. And if you have any favorite stories, we would love to pick them out to read. Oh, how does our snowman talk? That's a very good question. Well, you see, when I made that snowman, I was feeling so confident and strong and happy within myself. I didn't know what I was quite capable of. And so when I formed a snowman, just like I had always with my powers, I was feeling so good and so happy and strong that I made a snowman come to life. You never know what you're capable of until you try. And when you're happy and you're feeling good and you're feeling powerful and confident, you can do anything you please. You can make any dream come true. And my dream, my entire childhood, was to be able to talk to my sister and I's snowman that we would make. And so that came out through my magic. And now he's our best friend. Oh, bye, Monica. Take care. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me. I had so much fun. I'll be sure to tell my sister and our family and our entire kingdom what a fabulous time we had. And please let us know what story you would like to hear next. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care of one another and be safe.